Hello there. I jumped into some spring stuff and I cannot wait to show you guys. I made some spring farmhouse style DIYs. I did a wreath and a couple gift box ideas and they turned out great. So let's jump into our first one. This is a recycled wreath. I have had this wreath for many, many years. It's been hanging up in one spot. I took it apart because the stuff that was on it was way outdated. But I believe I got it at Michael's a long time ago. I do not know if you can get it. It's got a little basket deal going on right here, but I love it. Well, I want to redo it. So I'm going to try to fill in this little basket. So I was at Dollar Tree and I saw this cocoa liner. I'm pretty sure this is made out of coconut, not shells, but the coconut fuzz inside, you know, the fuzzy stuff inside of a coconut. Anyways, got a random piece of styrofoam and then all of these florals that just make me happy. I went to my stash and I went shopping in my own home, which is scary that I can do that because I have that much. And I picked up some pretty stuff. So I want to fill this basket instead of trying to mask the styrofoam. I'm going to actually try to make a little basket inside the basket. So I cut the cocoa liner in half and then I got a little bit too big. So I cut another piece off and then I'm kind of folding it inwards. I was almost making like a cone shape out of it so we can line this basket. And then what I did was kind of Frankenstein the rest of it. We need to put something in the back of it. So, you know, of course the back doesn't show because we don't want to have, you know, it's like the zipper's undone and you can see the back. Oh my goodness, you can't do that. So I cut a little V right in the back there to cover the rest of it, just in case, you know, you never know. You might place it on a window or a door that has a window or somewhere to where things might be seen from the back. I'm big on finishing the backs of things just so that they look nice because you never know. That's just how it is. You never know. And then to put in the bottom, there's that extra little piece I had. I don't really like to waste anything either. So I was like, well, can I actually add this in? So it kind of came apart a little bit right there. You'll see I'm gluing it back together. And this actually fits perfectly right down in the bottom here, just like a little, kind of like a little boat at the very bottom. And that's just to keep anything from falling through. You don't want any moss coming through, any stems poking through, anything falling. But look how perfect that turned out. So I've got that little thing covered. Now, it wasn't exactly easy, but I wasn't exactly gentle with it either. Excuse the little toenails if you can hear those on the floor. That's my little Tootsie. She wants her doggy food. It's dinner time for them. So we're going to get through this quickly. Now that I got the little basket covered, we are going to put, first here, take a look. Look how cute it is. We're going to put this random piece of styrofoam in here. Why on earth did I save this? It came out of some sort of packaging I got. Look at the absolute mess that this causes. Now, in the crafting world, we know messes are going to happen. But for some reason, when it comes to this kind of styrofoam, look at it. It's all over my hands. It's the static gets to you. It sticks to everything. You can't even, I was using a hair dryer. I was using a vacuum, everything. It just gets everywhere and it doesn't go away. And I use it again later in this video. This whole video is full of recycled styrofoam I got out of packages. Anyways, I didn't glue it to our liner or our coconut liner. I glued it to each other and it's in there pretty good with sheer force, will, and a good talking to. But anyways, it's not coming out unless you pull it out. I'm going to cover the rest of this with some Spanish moss I got at not Dollar Tree. This is Hobby Lobby. It's a bright, springy lime green, and I love it. Now we're going to just add our florals. So I've got a mixture here of Michael's, Hobby Lobby, and I believe that's it. They're Michael's and Hobby Lobby picks. So the greenery I felt was very springy. I like to add stuff that, you know, honestly, if we're being completely 100% honest, I do not know what flowers are in what season. I don't know what goes with what grows in what part of what region and what's there. I do what makes me happy, guys. So if you see something and you like the colors combination, even if it seems like it might be a pine item or something that goes well in the winter, stick it in your arrangement, place it in your flowers because you know, people live in the mountains 24/7. That doesn't mean it's only at Christmas time that pine trees exist, right? That's how I figure it out. The stuff in my home makes me happy. You got to make sure that stuff makes you happy too. So I mixed some roses with whatever else that all of it is called. I do not know any of the technical terms, but I put my arrangement in just to make me happy. Now we're going to do a nice fluffy bow on the side. So here is some 6-inch wide burlap. This is Ashland brand. I've gotten it at Michael's. I have 50 million, bajillion, bagabbalillion rolls of this. I used to literally roll it all over my 9-foot Christmas tree. So I have lots of it, but you can get this pretty much anywhere. I had an extra strip cut. So I am doing the bottom part as your tails. I made a loop, glued it together, and that's going to be our top. You can see here I'm squeezing it periodically exactly in the middle because that's where we're going to gather it. I'm doing the exact same thing with this ribbon here from Michaels, and then this striped ribbon, the yellow and white striped ribbon, is from craftoutlet.com. Now for this one, I'm going to actually do a loop bow where I'm twisting it because it is a one-sided ribbon, and we are going to just twist that in the middle with 2 loops and 2 little tails. We're going to take the 2 ribbons together. I'm using a pipe cleaner just to secure them together, and then I'm going to set them on top of our burlap and then use just an extra piece. That's actually the piece that I pulled off of the burlap when I untied it. I love to reuse things, and it was nearby. So my other idea here is I needed to be able to attach it to the basket. Since we actually have a traditional arrangement or a wreath, I don't have the opportunity. I'm going to put this bow towards the front of the basket. So I put a piece of a pipe cleaner left over, and I'm literally just wrapping a piece of jute twine around the whole bow so that I can secure that pipe cleaner in the middle. I used a tiny little dot of hot glue, and now I'm just rolling or feeding our pipe cleaner into the wreath there so that you can actually get the bow pretty close to where I want it to be. Dovetailing the ends of the extra ribbon. I'm not dovetailing the burlap. We want that to look kind of, frayed and very, very rugged and rustic and farmhousey and pretty. So this is it. Look how pretty it is. It went really fast. Now, of course, I sped this up for the sake of the video. This probably took me about 30, 40 minutes to do the video, to do the whole wreath from start to finish. But I really like how it is. And of course, because it's bright and the yellow is like the perfect entrance into spring, you guys are going to see a lot of yellows and greens and purples and everything coming up. We're about to jump head first into a pile of Easter, you know what I'm saying? And it's going to be full of nice, beautiful colors. But for this first one for spring, I wanted to add just a bright, happy yellow that just, you can't help but want to hug it. You guys ever want to just grab something and hug it when you make it? That's how this made me feel. When I finished it, I was like, I don't want to put it down. I want to keep looking at it. That's the best thing. That's how you know, right? Have you ever done that? You make something and you can't help but want to continue to look at it. Then you did well. In my honest opinion, you did good. You guys let me know what you think. This was a cute little fast intro, and I didn't use that many, not many of the stuff. Everything came from my stash. I really like it. All right, now we are going to make some arrangements out of gift boxes. Now these are Dollar Tree gift boxes. You'll see here's a gift box. Isn't that great? I got these at Dollar Tree maybe a year ago, but you can get, even outside of the holidays, you can get regular gift boxes for regular birthdays. And anytime there's some sort of holiday theme, you'll see extra boxes. For this one, I'm going to glue the lid to the bottom, and we are going to take our white chalk paint. I have Folk Art Home Decor white chalk paint. It's called Cottage White. And I'm going to give this pretty girl a couple coats. It was, at first I thought it was going to bubble up because this paper on here was a little kind of waxy, almost paper. The waxy-ish, is that a word? Waxy-ish, waxy kind of. It didn't absorb the paint per se, but there was like one spot I was worried about, but it didn't bubble up, so this worked out. So remember, buy yourself a couple options or take a look at your stash and see if you have a couple options, because sometimes the paint might not take to it. In this instance, I got lucky, and here's 2 coats. Look at that. You cannot see any of it. It's pretty. It's a nice, pretty white box. So we are going to decorate the outside, and we are going to take this right here is a roll of floral ribbon I got from Craft Outlet. We're going back to our Michaels ribbon, and we're going to cut enough to fit the whole box, and we're going to cut our edges off. I want there to be frayed edges on the ends, so I'm taking off the lining or the sewn edge, and I'm pulling out a couple strands each on each side after I measure it here. So that's my idea. You saw me pinch it in the middle. But we're going to take off, here, I'm taking out these threads. I think I took 2 or 3 threads off of each side, and then we kind of just measure it to see if enough of the white box is showing. Now I'm going to take my pretty floral ribbon, and I'm going to pull a strip just exactly as long as our burlap is, because this is going to be our pretty little accent on the outside. And here you needed to find the middle. So I folded it in half and I pinched it. Then I took one of the pieces that I cut off of the edge, one of the sewn edges, and I cinched our 2 ribbons in the middle. And then we're going to take that and wrap it around the center, almost like you're making, one of those, bundled bows. So I'm using hot glue to secure that in the back. And you'll see here in a second, I'm going to glue that down. And then this is important to do before you attach it to the box because it's very difficult and you want to get a really good, nice, secure, tight wrap around the box. So make sure you do this before you wrap it to the box because there have been issues in the past. I've tried that maybe on a mason jar or so, and I kind of had to maybe start over, but do this first, just saying. It'll save you some headache. Now, look how pretty that is. I'm using some hot glue just to tack down our little piece to make sure it stays in the middle. And then the rest of this is going to be hot glue. Now, that right there, I put the glue on top of the burlap. Don't do that. Put the glue like you'll see me do on this side on the actual box, and it'll soak through the natural holes in the burlap to touch the ribbon. Otherwise, this particular ribbon that I have, if you're using a different ribbon, obviously, you're going to see the hot glue through it. It kind of soaks through the ribbon fabric a little bit too much, but it's not very noticeable because we got so much prettiness going on. You don't know what's going to tell. I'm here to just blatantly point out my mistakes, to show you exactly what I've done, and then you can tell me that it's okay. So obviously I talked through it, but on the back, I kind of just folded one side completely over, glued it down, and then I put a nice little hem and then folded that over on itself and then glued that down. Now, we're moving on to our florals. So here's a cute little block from Dollar Tree. And I said to myself, I had a happy accident here. This is too deep. I need it to be higher because of how I want to plan to do the florals. So I was getting a ruler here and I'm going to try to measure to see just how deep it is. And oh, look, I accidentally dropped it in and it's the perfect height. Not the perfect width, but we are going to make this work. But I didn't have to add anything to the bottom because I was going to Frankenstein a whole bunch of different extra pieces of stuff. I was looking all over the craft room for stuff. But in this instance, stick it in the opposite direction and I glued it down, and this is the exact perfect height. A lot of stuff like that in Dollar Tree works out. So a lot of these gift boxes are the same size. So if you can get those in the same spot. You get a gift box down by gift wrapping and then go over to their Crafter Square aisle, take a look at their styrofoam if they have any, and you'll see that they fit perfectly. So I just stuffed some extra Dollar Tree bags because I have a plethora of them in my craft room since that's pretty much all I buy anymore. And I was able to get a good secure little, I just kind of stuffed it in there. You could use craft paper, wrapping paper, you could use anything. I just had Dollar Tree sacks. Now you guys are seeing the behind the scenes, but nobody will know unless they take it apart. And if they take it apart, that's on them. No judgment here. I love you and I love all of your crafty ideas. It doesn't matter. So obviously, again, jibber jabbered through it. We used the same Spanish moss. I love this bright green color. And now, of course, tuck that Spanish moss all around, get a good tight, nice coverage because we are going to see it. It's not going to be specifically purposely covered. I wanted this to look like a cute little garden type arrangement. Now these are brand new foxtails I just got at I keep saying the wrong names, guys. I'm so excited. Dollar Tree. These I just got at Dollar Tree, so they're foxtails. They had all kinds of colors. I grabbed this bright creamish green color. And if you see how I'm lining them together, I'm lining them in rows. I'm putting 1, 2, 3, 4, and then I'm putting 3, and then I'm kind of going off kilter and just having my own crafty time. But you'll see in a second when I pull this up to show you, I specifically want you to see the stems going into the moss because it looks like, almost like, how a tulip would grow or anything that grows from a bulb. I wanted it to have that cute little garden feel. So my instance, you could do this with tulips, you could do this with roses, you could do this with lavender or lilacs, any of those things that usually would look like a bulb so that you can see that it's coming out of the moss. That was my main idea for this, and I think it turned out so great. Also, another quick little fast thing, shouldn't take very long to create. There is a chip right there in the box. See that red spot? Yep, looks like I chipped the paint and wasn't paying attention. So there you go, pointing it out. Look what I did. It's okay. I will fix that. I have to go back and put a little bit of paint on it now that I know it's there. It's going to bother me from the other room and it's going to call my name in my sleep. You guys tell me what you think. I think she turned out great. So moving on, our last two little girls here, also Christmas boxes from the Dollar Tree. Now I got these, I don't know when I got them, but you can get little cylinder boxes off and on. At least the Dollar Tree by my house has them periodically throughout the year. They might not have snowflakes on them, but again, we're going to actually cover these in fabric, but I needed to cover up most of that blue or some of the pattern in it because I didn't know if it would show through the fabric that I'm going to put on here. So I put a very light, literally half paid attention coat. Just it doesn't matter if it's neat or not, just put a coat on it. Now we're going to use this fabric that I also got at Dollar Tree because this is kind of like a very muted buffalo check. Now I have a very strong bold buffalo check, but this one was very dusty and muted. It's almost got it like a gray or a denim type, like a worn denim feel. There we go. It's like a worn feel. I love it. It's like warm and worn. I love it. So I lined it up so that we could put at least one row of those checks inside the very top because we're going to fold that in so it looks like it's a nice finished edge. And then we don't have to worry about the bottom because we're going to put the lids on the bottom of these also. And I'm using the brown lid that came with it to my advantage. And we're not painting them. So the bottom part that goes on these containers doesn't necessarily have to be so neat and tidy. But if you're cutting a straight line, you're cutting a straight line, work with it. So I'm going to show you close up here. We're going to line these up and we're going to make sure the bottom is flush and the top has that piece that we're going to fold in. So just try to remember to keep track of where the top and the bottom is so that you're not folding in on the wrong side and then you get done, you have to pull it all off. But it's fabric, it comes off pretty easy. I had to readjust this because I was tugging a little bit too hard, and on the pattern of the fabric, you could tell on the buffalo check that I had kind of pulled a little bit too hard on one side and then it was getting a little crooked and you could see little waves in the buffalo check. So just remember, try to be a little bit mindful of that if that's something that should bother you. Now again, I'm folding over a piece to kind of put a little pretty hem in it. That's another thing where I feel like I'm finishing the edges or the backs of things. Put a nice little hem in her, and then she's so pretty. We're going to tuck over our insides on the top, and it works out great. It's just a perfect cylinder. I didn't have to cut any of it. We weren't making like any type of triangular or dome piece, so it turned out really, really easy, really simple. And again, these are all supplies you can get at Dollar Tree. Right in the same store. You don't have to go anywhere else. Mine always has ribbon and not ribbon. Always has containers and always has fabric. Now it might not be a pattern of fabric you want to make anything out of, but currently, you know, it's Dollar Tree. You got to go, you got to look, you got to periodically go back every 10 minutes, every 2 days, hunt them down. You know, Dollar Tree might want, they're like, we know you. Like, I know you know me. I'm not ashamed. I'm here all the time. Got the same stuff? All right, cool. Now, I tried to do a cute little transition there. You see that? I was trying to see what these kids are doing these days, but in any event, both of them are done now. And we're going to use the same rage-inducing styrofoam. Ask me why I did that. I don't know. I'm a glutton for punishment. But once it's all cleaned up, I was like, hey, that's free styrofoam, right? So apparently free is still worth it for me when it comes to the messy headache. Now, same premise. We're going to use the same pretty bright green moss, Spanish moss from Hobby Lobby, which my regular Spanish moss I'm running out of. I got to go back to Hobby Lobby and get some. And we're just covering the tops of it. And now I'm going to take this jute cord or jute twine that I get at Dollar Tree also. Now I get it in the automotive section because you get a 3-pack. You actually get more than the stuff that you get in the Crafter Square section, if that should matter. That's just extra goodies, I'm telling you. So I'm wrapping it around the actual cylinder a couple times, the gift box itself, maybe 5 or 6 times. I'm gluing it in the back, and I'm going to make this little wrapped bow. So you wrap your cord or jute or ribbon around your 4 fingers about 3, 4, 5 times. I think I did this one maybe 6 times. And then you secure it in the middle like you would tie together. I cut the tails off and then just secured that to the front of the jute on the front of our cylinder. Now, if you've got the back seam looking perfect, it won't matter, but I had to make sure that I didn't confuse that and accidentally put the bows on the front. But there is a front and a back because that fabric does have a seam. Now, we're moving on. These are Michael's tulips that I have had for so long that it doesn't matter because Michael's has their tulips every year. I get them on a good sale. I have not purchased tulips for a long time because I can tell you I have had these in my stash for many, many years. But we won't talk about that. I had the perfect combo of yellow. I have way more than 4 stems, so I grabbed 4 stems because of the size of the containers. I know I shouldn't be using more than 2 each. Now, I may have overstuffed them, but I like it like that. I like really full, fluffy, happy flowers. I just, you could shove anything in there if it's a floral and I would like it. I'm telling you, I don't discriminate when it comes to flowers. I love florals in general. And this one was just easy because you're not mixing anything together. You just have to poke them into the styrofoam in a fashion that makes you happy. Now you can kind of see the same technique almost, except for, the bottom of the Spanish moss doesn't show as much as it did on the previous floral arrangement in the other box, but I did want it to show kind of the same way. Tulips grow off of a bulb also. I love the way that looks. It's a very fresh spring vibe. This is also easily put into an Easter type situation or arrangement, and then also is going to help transition into summer because of the bright yellow. I honestly don't have any rules when it comes to seasons. If you want to put it out and it makes you happy, you leave it out. Remember, pumpkins are 24/7 in my world and in my house. So I could put a pretty little yellow pumpkin in there and put a butterfly on top of that and call it a day, and that would be great for my home and my taste, my style. And everybody who knows me knows they're going to come in my house and see pumpkins. So it is what it is. But you guys tell me what you think. These were cute little, easy, fast. They make really good spring gifts if you're going to have get-togethers or, you know, stuff like that. These are great little things. Mother's Day will be coming up. Anybody's got any birthdays? If you've got your church ladies, different gifts you want to give to people, these are very fast, very easy, and they make everybody smile. So at least I am smiling like I'm about to be committed. So you guys let me know what you think in the comments. Tell me if you would do anything different, or have you made anything similar to this, or are you interested now? Have I piqued your interest? Because I literally just looked at my stash and said, I need to make some things for spring. This gloomy weather is getting to me. I want it to be happy in spring. Now, I am not trying to rush the 120,000 million degree weather that is coming to me in the desert that I live in, but I need to have some happy, pretty flowers. I need this. It's beautiful. I really like it. So that's it, you guys. It seems like a pretty quick amount of a video, but also I wanted to throw just enough in to make everybody happy and just show you guys that spring's on its way, so we have something to look forward to. I have a coffee page, so I want to thank everybody 100% who has supported me and sent me any types of donations. If you want to, or should you feel the need, you can buy me a cup of coffee. It helps support my channel. It keeps me going. And if you're not able to, it is never required, but always appreciated. And I love every single one of you, no matter what. You being here is just all that, you know, mainly will keep me going most of the time. So thank you all for joining me each and every time. I appreciate you guys more. I love you more than I can say in words. Many hugs, happy crafting, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye for now.